So now that we have talked about being grounded and we have talked about one anothering, one of the things I want to talk to you about now is reaping. Reaping. When I work with businesses and organizations, many times one of the first things I ask them is to talk to me a little bit about their KPIs, their key performance indicators. And if you were to think of key performance indicators for fitness, it might be, well, my weight. My weight is a key performance indicator, what I weigh. Maybe my body mass index is a key performance indicator. How many push-ups I could do is a key performance indicator. In your finances, you could say, I have key performance indicators. I want to look at my savings. I want to look at, the profitability of my business, on my net worth. There are things that I can look at as key performance indicators to see how successful I'm being in those areas of my life. You might be looking at your marriage and say, how many date nights I have? Is there oneness? Do we feel linked right now? Is there great intimacy in our marriage? Key performance indicators. And many times I think that we don't apply this to our spiritual growth. And what I want to challenge you with in this session is that the Lord gives us key performance indicators. He gives us KPIs for our spiritual growth and to see how we're advancing and how we're moving along in our oneness with Him. Galatians 5:22 starts this by allowing us to see if we are reaping the fruit of the Spirit. The fruit of the Spirit, as it outlines in Galatians 5:22 and 23, is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. These are the KPIs of our spiritual development. They're the KPIs of our growing in maturity in our likeness of Christ. If you want someone who epitomizes these fruits, all we have to do is look for Jesus and know that Jesus was the epitome of these things. And so we want to grow in them and be more like Christ. And these KPIs, these fruits of the Spirit, this reaping, if you will, is an indicator in our life to say, how are we doing? I don't want to be on a growth journey and not be able to look every once in a while and say, how am I doing? I want to have some indicators to look at. So I would ask you this question. When you look at the fruit that you're reaping, what's it tell you? What's it tell you? Maybe a better question is to look at these areas of your life and ask yourself, 5 years ago, was I more loving? 5 years ago, did I feel like I had more joy in my life and was giving more joy to others? 5 years ago, was I more a peaceful person, at peace? 5 years ago, was I more patient? Now, personally, I think you get a pass. If 5 years ago you didn't have kids and now you do, that's probably going to test your patience a little bit. But still, are we growing more patient? 5 years ago, was I kind? I got to tell you something. I think one of the things that the Christian church can really work on is our kindness. We're not the nicest people in the world, are we? Our goodness. Was I a good person? Morally right? Just doing good things no matter what it cost. Faithful and steadfast. Was I gentle? Or was I a bully? Because I think there is such a thing as Christian bullies. Did I have self-control? Or was I a slave to my flesh, my tongue? I want you to do that. I want you to think back and reflect and invite the Holy Spirit into this conversation and saying, where have you developed? These are the KPIs that the word of the Lord gives us in Galatians, saying these are the ways that you'll know that you're growing in my Spirit. These are the things, these are the fruits that you should look for in yourself. See, so many times we want to look to other people and say, oh, they don't look very loving. Oh, they're not very joyful. Oh, they're not very peaceful. Oh, do you see their lack of self-control? And the reality is that the first we need to take this and look at not as a lens, but as a mirror. Not as a lens through which we look at other people, but let's take the time in our growth journey to look at ourselves and how we're advancing in reaping the fruits of the Spirit.